Hello and welcome to Disruptx, a virtual talk series conceptualized by Misonica. Continuing with our Impact series, we are going to be discussing the future of EdTech. Today, a 4-year-old child can actually learn about the galaxy not only from books, but by using a more fun and interactive approach through VR headsets. A lot of technology pieces, such as artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and humanoid robots, among others, are being leveraged to make the education sector more inclusive and accessible. But the question is, are we there yet? And our speaker is going to help us understand all that and much more. Please allow me to welcome Esha Khurshid, Chief Visionary Officer at social impact startup Key to Enable. A very warm welcome to you, Esha. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
I'm going to start this chat with your thoughts on whether technology pieces are actually being leveraged to make education more inclusive, accessible, and a collaborative space, especially for children with disabilities, for people of determination, etc.
Absolutely. So I think one of the most fundamental things that is missing in the educational sector is assistive technology. So when we speak about creating inclusive classrooms, it really is about piecing technology together. I mean, in today's time, most of the mainstream schools, we've become more commercialized, and the concept of a very generalistic atmosphere is present. And I feel that now is the time to have those thought provoking questions or thought provoking conversations that will really integrate an individualistic learning module in mainstream schools. So bringing technology is important, but most importantly, it is about changing mindsets. So I think once we are able to integrate that technology, we must also side by side integrate awareness campaigns as well so that we can change those mindsets as we integrate technology in mainstream schools.
Surely that's so important. But are there any economic or social policy related barriers that kind of act as hindrances for especially children with disabilities, marginalized communities, as well as people of determination to realize their full potential?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, a lot of, government institutions, federal authorities have taken the time to really curate those specified, policies to help, socioeconomical barriers that, may not help integrate people of disabilities into the system. But how many of us are really integrating those policies? How many of us are really stepping up and saying that we need to now, bring on in these policies and make it a reality where, there is equal educational opportunities for everyone? I think there is like an underlying fear with a lot of teachers as well as parents as well the moment there is a child that is born with disabilities, and they're not really sure of how to move ahead and how to help them. Again, it's the stigma. So what we're really suffering from right now before integration or using those policies to its full potential or integrating those policies is really the stigma of the mindset in a lot of people. And what Key to Enable is doing right now is that we are curating those special projects that bring the community together. So we do these events and we do these projects where we have like a fun twist on inclusion and accessibility. So as we're integrating technology, we're also bringing in all those segments of the society, whether it's youth ambassadors or we're bringing in school students or we're bringing in, the parents, teachers, caretakers. So until and unless those individuals or those segments of the community are not given accessibility to the knowledge, first of all, we're not even going to be able to incorporate those policies. So I think I would like to add another point to that is there's also this system of the policies that may look like they're self-sufficient,
Yeah.
or they may look like they advocate autonomy, but I think again we need to simplify it further, and that can only happen once the right tools are given, and people like probably like Key to Enable or more social enterprises can really stand up and explain how simple it is to actually integrate it. So breaking it down again falls back on social entrepreneurs, or even community members, when we really go to the root of it.
Surely. And along with that change of mindset, could you also touch upon how technology pieces, tools are being used to bring about a change and really make education inclusive and accessible for all? Please do cite some examples also.
Sure. I think what we're seeing now with technology is AR and VR. I think that's beautiful. So what AR and VR is doing again in the educational sector again is giving you the accessibility of having that immersive learning experience. And here again, you're noticing that the mindset is shifting from generalistic to commercial to very individualistic perspective. So when you add in that person into that environment, when they're able to manipulate that environment and learn through that atmosphere, you see so much more change. And again, I think another very interesting thing that's happening is AI. So you
Mhm.
can see AI getting integrated into almost every form or aspect of the educational system again. And that is quite interesting because it makes life easier for the teachers, or it makes it easier for the learners to actually spend time actually acquiring the knowledge while the other things are taken care of with technology. So there is more one-on-one focus again with learner and teacher that is kind of coming back to the forefront, where initially before it was a simple syllabus that was given and there was not much attention taken again. So yes, we're seeing AR and VR taking the forefront. We are seeing AI taking the forefront. But again, if we're talking about inclusion and accessibility, again, we must speak about simplified technology. And it's really exciting to see that something as simple as your Microsoft Office has so many accessibility options that people really don't know about. So this is what again Key to Enable does, is that we're going back to people in, for example, workplace individuals. We're teaching them about the simple accessibility items that are there literally on their Microsoft Office, where then again, in conjunction with our own solution, we can actually bring more people to the workplace and find workplace equality. And the same way in the educational system, again, we bring in those learn through play techniques with simplified tools, something like we have with Key to Enable, which is an assistive keyboard. And that again allows people with severe and motor physical difficulties. We're changing mindsets again, and we're giving them equal educational opportunities. So it's quite interesting when you see the really innovative curve of AI, VR, AR, and then you actually even look at accessible, innovative technology, which is so user friendly, something like what we have at Key to Enable.
Sure. And my next question for you is going to be twofold. One is, basically making these tools available, technology pieces available. But do you think data emerging from these tools are also being processed properly to be used for greater good? And the second part of my question is going to be everything which is related to learning must be constant because things are evolving very quickly. Do you see that happening? What is the ground reality like?
Wow. So this is something that we are working on, especially at this moment of time as well, is where ensuring the right data,
Yeah,
of course, maintaining confidentiality
yeah.
first, protecting people's, individualities is is the core importance, but using the right data to understand, progressive information that would cater to research, that is the key, I think. So that again, that type of data is what really reflects in changing, policies or influences, change in with policy advisors. So right now with Key to Enable as well, we're working in Western Europe with the Ministry of Education and policy advisors in Belgium. So it's so important for example, assistive technology or innovative technology that's coming in the forefront. And especially when we're considering vulnerable individuals like people with disabilities, then securing the right data to understand the developmental curves, understanding behaviors, understanding user friendly data, all of those things linked together
Yeah,
will definitely help in policy advisors, creating more right policies. And of
absolutely.
course, again, integrating that data. So data driven, evidence based research is
Yeah.
important. Every project that is created also must have those, impact reporting and models that are integrated that understand what the outputs and what the outcomes are going to be established. I think that is the key for sure, for sure. I mean, that definitely is what is needed. And the ground reality is that very few people are thinking in that sense. Um, but I see that is changing now
Mhm.
again with a lot of, contemporary, entrepreneurs where, they're speaking about social good. They're speaking about, what is the impact that's being created with what I'm doing
Exactly.
for the society? How is that change happening? So people are definitely falling back to something that we really love is the
Mhm.
logic theory model, for instance. And I really recommend that to a lot of social entrepreneurs to kind of, integrate that into their project
Mhm.
management, so that they can assess data again for social good, for sure.
Surely. And as you said, impact reporting is so important in order to do that properly. On that note,
Yes.
Isha, my last question to you. What are those technology pieces as well as segments within EdTech that really excite you, that promise to make education accessible to all and inclusive and meaningful?
Absolutely. So I think I already mentioned AR and VR. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
definitely something that's exciting me. But again, when I'm thinking about, the metaverse, that is something that's very, very, very exciting. So we are working on a very exciting project with one of our collaborators and partners, and we hope to announce something soon. But I think the metaverse is going to change a lot. But and what we are also working on again is ensuring there's internet accessibility to more underdeveloped
Yeah.
nations, which is very important, so that we can really take the full essence of bringing technology and seeing the, innovation do social good, for sure. So AR VR for sure, the
Hmm.
metaverse for sure.
Hmm.
And what is really exciting me right now is watching people with disabilities, in conjunction with our technology, coding. So that really, really is exciting again. I think another very exciting technological outbreak again for me would be, incorporating like biometric systems in
Hmm.
schools. That really
Absolutely.
helps with
Yes.
security. It helps again learners and teachers focus more on what is the need of the hour, and to create like that safe environment again. I'm thinking about, yeah, I think I've mentioned more than three already, but yes, I think these are the few that really are exciting me at this point. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been an incredible segment. It was lovely to chat with you. Thank you for sharing such wonderful insights with us, and thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.